Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Viewz. I am your titular goblin, and today I am accompanied by the lovely Akasha.
Woo!
And we are going to be doing some more Marvel talking, like we that's all we do.
The Marvel people, bro.
Bro, all you review is Marvel stuff, bro. Come on.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Why are you watching it?
Yeah, we like it. So what?
Get over here.
Alright, but today we're here to talk about the newest Marvel flick, newest Marvel joint, Doctor Strange and in the Multiverse of Madness.
Speaking of Marvel joint, Doctor Strange, if you know what I mean.
Smoking that Marvel joint? What are you trying to get at?
You wouldn't get it.
Alright, fair enough. Yeah, do we wanna... I guess let's just let some people come in, but let's say, how are you today?
I'm doing well.
Good. All right.
Lots of things going on tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm doing well as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to, because I know some people actually want to show up for the stream, so I was gonna
let them flood in.
Yep. But do we want to just start with some obviously our non-spoiler thoughts about the movie and stuff?
Hold on. I sense them. Hundreds flooding into the stream. Just wait. No, we can go. We can do non-spoilers. Or pretty much non-spoilers is like describing the trailer.
I mean, the trailer spoils more than we're going to.
Yeah.
In the non-spoiler review. So I guess if you've seen the Doctor Strange trailer, you already know what we're going to be talking about. But so Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is the longest sequel in between Marvel movie. It's like, I think the first one came out like 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
You mean the longest, like...
It's the longest distance between any two sequels in the Marvel franchise. Yeah. I think the new Guardians is going to be the placeholder after that, but still.
Which is like one of the only problems I had with this, because I could not fucking remember some things about that first movie. Like, there's a character who's really prevalent in this movie who I was like, who the fuck are you?
But yeah, just going into general thoughts and stuff, it's the newest Sam Raimi flick, and if you know anything about me, he has to be my favorite director. I know I love David Lynch and all that, but it's just like, I love every Sam Raimi film.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's no exception. I really
change your tune when David Lynch directs Eternals 2.
Could you imagine if they got him to do that? Holy shit.
I think he would have a heart attack while filming.
Yeah, that would be his final. It'd be like...
his magnum opus.
No, it wouldn't.
No, it would.
What would happen is it would be like half of a film and then another director, they'd get Joss Whedon to do the other half and he'd fucking ruin it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's the newest Sam Raimi flick, so I was already hyped going into that just because my boy Sam has not made a movie in a hot minute, so I was just excited, and I was not disappointed. It's got good acting. This movie, it's got... there's not a lot I can say without getting into spoilers, but I like the multiverse stuff. I think that's probably one of my favorite aspects of Marvel stuff, is the fact that there can be, like, all these different versions of these characters.
They do be kind of lacking in the multiverse department in this movie, though.
Yeah, they only visit, like, 3. I mean, there's a whole scene where they, like, jump through, like, 13 of them.
Yeah.
But really, the movie only focuses on, like... Right? 3? Or 2?
Like 2, because there's just the normal world and then the other 2.
Yeah. But, I agree with that. But I was saying to you afterwards that I think that's just because they want to do a bunch of shit with this multiverse stuff, I think. So they want to, like, save, because it's not like they can do, a Marvel's Morales universe right now until they do Spider-Man or something. You know what I mean? So they want to save some of their stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think that the stuff that they do play in this movie is really, really cool. It does make me wish, though, that there was a bit more, because it's just so cool that I want more of it.
Yeah.
I think this one is better than the first Doctor Strange.
Oh. Yeah? I just really love the ending of the first Doctor Strange.
Yeah, no, the ending
is so clever.
It's clever as hell, but I think this one is just fun.
It is fun.
And, well, it's like, yeah.
Just the ending.
Well, yeah, the ending is just cool.
Well, the very ending, I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
With this movie?
Yeah.
Like in a bad way?
No, yeah, literally, I'm talking about the last few moments of the actual film.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like...
I thought you were talking about the whole final battle.
I was like,
or whatever.
Literally, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess it kind of ended off on a sour note for me, but overall, I did really like the movie, and this non-spoiler part, we're, like, not even talking about plot points, because the moment we start talking about plot points, it's a spoiler.
Yeah. I guess to give a general thesis on what the movie is about.
Oh, I gotta pee again.
Okay.
Yeah.
But general thoughts about what the movie is about is that Doctor Strange meets... I don't know, the trailers don't even portray this well, so it's like, I guess it kind of... Whatever. Doctor Strange meets America Chavez, who is a dimension-hopping youth, who we've never met before in the MCU. And I have to say that she is... oh god, I can't pronounce her name very well. Akasha... Joltiel Gomez? I don't know. Akasha will be able to say her name more effectively. I apologize otherwise. But she plays as America Chavez, and she's really, really good. She's like a major character in the movie. And she just kind of feels instantly like a mainstay of the Marvel Universe. She's just really good. I liked her a lot. But he meets her, and wacky antics ensue. That's the thing. The whole plot of this movie is a spoiler, because they don't even tell you. The thing is, this movie, the trailer spoils so much, but it also doesn't tell you the main plot of the movie, which is really weird.
Yeah. You actually watch the movie and you kind of feel dumb that you didn't get this from the trailer.
Yeah.
Because they have all those...
it's because the trailers oversaturate themselves with, oh look, Professor Xavier's back, and all this shit.
Well, because they have all those shots of, like, this is in the trailers, people, I'm not spoiling, but all those shots
whatever, we're gonna get to spoilers here in a minute.
Yeah, but all the shots of Wanda just fucking soaked in blood.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Here's some non-spoiler. This is the most gory Marvel movie. There are awful deaths in this movie.
Yeah, like, for real.
Like, we were talking about it before streaming, and we will talk about it when we get there. There is a death that, like, actually fucking really bothers me in this movie. Because it's so, like, just visceral.
Motherfucker gets turned string cheese.
It's just, like, so much shit.
Yeah.
And it's Sam Raimi classic. Like, there's so many odes to Evil Dead in this film, which is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, film series of all time. But, like, there's shots where the doors are being closed by Wanda, and the camera will zoom into a Dutch angle as it's closing, and characters will stare at things for very, like, there's a whole sequence where characters are being chased and they stop to stare at what's chasing them for like, they stare at this fucking door for like, it has to be a minute. There were people in the audience that were like laughing at how long this scene like goes on for, because it purposefully is dragged out for a long time. But they stare at this door, and then eventually something fucking pops out. And like, there's jump scares and stuff.
Yeah. There's a part as well where, like, Rachel McAdams is literally in a scene from Evil Dead.
Yeah.
With the spirits.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but I would, like, before we go into spoilers, I would just sum up my thoughts by saying, I've said this many times to Brant, more horror in this movie. The horror is fucking awesome. Less jokes, because this movie, like, really fucking falls flat on its face on some of the humor for me. And I am not going to, like, blame Sam Raimi for that. I'm just gonna say my educated guess is that it was a mix between Sam Raimi humor and then them going, can you make this Marvel humor?
Yeah, I completely see that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, do we just want to hop into spoiler stuff now?
Yeah, did you do your thing where you're like, this movie featuring blah, blah, and blah?
Oh, I mean, I guess I said it was directed by Sam Raimi. Obviously, we've got Benedict Cumberbatch. I just feel like with these movies, it's like all these characters have been seen in so many... Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. Elizabeth Olsen is Scarlet Witch / Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Benedict Wong is Wong.
Yeah.
You said Rachel McAdams. I gotta shit on the credits of this movie for a second, because I don't usually notice things that bother me in credits. But we were watching the credit sequence.
Are you talking about this bitch?
Who? What?
This guy?
No.
Okay. I was just shocked that he had a prominent spot in the credits.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't know either, but he had a prominent spot in the credits.
Well, anyway.
Go ahead.
Oh, the credits. They have her listed as the last credit.
Rachel McAdams?
When they're like, you know, when they do the credits and they're showing the people, like, little scenes of them in the movie that they have in, like, every Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. She was like, it said, and Rachel McAdams. But she's in over half this movie. Mm-hmm. She's in this movie, like, as much, like, obviously a little bit less, but, like, she's in this movie, like, almost as much as the Scarlet Witch is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little... I just thought that was strange, that it just said, and Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
Especially when she's one of the only characters that also gets an alternate universe version of herself.
Yeah.
But, yeah, do we want to get straight into the spoiler stuff then?
Yeah.
Alright. Spoiler warning for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We recommend that you go watch this film. Yes?
If you give a shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you recommend it, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, we recommend that you go watch it.
Which, before we go in, I'd like to say on the point of if you give a shit about Marvel, when we went into the theater, there was a woman.
Oh, just a story, yeah.
Yeah, there was a woman with, I don't know, I guess like a boyfriend or something, but I heard them talking in the parking lot and up to like the ticket box and through concessions where she goes, yeah, this is gonna be the first Marvel movie I've ever seen. And that just like had me dying internally already. And then the guy starts like explaining literally everything that has happened up until this point. And then he goes, oh yeah, so like Thanos got all the time stones and blah blah blah. And then she's like, oh, this is what Thanos is from. And I was like, oh, bitch, why are you at this movie? That was funny though. I just thought that was important to say.
But anyway, alright, let's get into the spoiler stuff.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, the cats were
They
fighting.
are rowdy and fighting today.
Yeah. Alright, But yeah, so I already explained that this movie is about Doctor Strange meeting our new... Can you correctly say the actress's name for America Chavez? Because I fucked it up.
Oh, Xochitl Gomez?
Xochitl, okay.
Yeah. I think she's Nahuatl. That sounds like a Nahuatl name, which is like,
I mean, let's not assume things like that, probably.
Well, I mean, it's literally a Nahuatl word.
I don't know.
It means flower, I'm pretty sure.
Alright.
Yeah.
But he meets America Chavez, who is a new character. Like I said, her ability is that she can dimension hops, but she can only do it when she's scared. And we learn that her whole tragic backstory is that when she was a child, she accidentally sent her parents to a alternate dimension, and she cannot find them.
Yeah, to hell.
She could have.
Yeah, she could have.
She literally could have. But the whole plot is that Scarlet Witch wants to take America Chavez for herself and steal her powers, which is just an ability for some reason that she can do. Yeah. It's so weird that like both her and Doctor Strange have this ability that they can just suck out the powers of this random girl. Like, I mean, they're pretty powerful. I don't know. It's just never, like, why couldn't they suck out each other's powers then at that point? You know what I mean?
I don't fucking know, because, like, they're each too powerful to do that to one another.
I guess, but I don't know. It's just a random ability that they've never had before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she wants to suck the power out of America because she wants to hop to another dimension where her children exist.
Mm-hmm.
Because we never watched WandaVision, but they explain it pretty well.
Yeah.
That she created her children out of nothing and like forced an entire town into like slavery basically for a while.
Yeah.
Because she was grieving over...
For like a fantasy.
Well, yeah, she was because she was grieving over Vision after Endgame. But her children never existed, and at the end of the show, she has to sacrifice them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But now she wants this ability because she finds out through the Darkhold, which is like a very powerful mystic item that she's under the spell of.
Yeah, speaking of Evil Dead, it's like the
Necronomicon.
Yeah.
It literally is. Yeah, it's just a big book that...
Can you hand me the controller real quick?
But it's just a big book that makes her be evil.
Yeah.
Like, basically feeds upon her, like, deepest wants and fantasies and shit. But, so she's the villain and she wants to steal this power so that she can find these alternate version kids. But basically the plot is shot off and we travel to like an alternate dimension where the Illuminati exist.
Mm-hmm.
And they explain the Illuminati is just a do you want to talk?
Yeah. Sorry, I was fixing Doctor Strange.
No, I know. I'm going off and I'm like, do you want...
I'm just listening to this great story. I can't believe this shit happened. So, yeah, they get slingshot into another universe with the Illuminati after America...
And the Illuminati is supposed to be just like a team of the world's greatest minds?
Yeah, and they're supposed to, like, make decisions for the world regarding, like, these big events, like this superheroes bullshit, this Marvel bullshits. So, yeah, they're basically like an underground council, I guess. And it has, in this universe, has Captain Carter, who's the British version of Captain America.
Well, she's well established in the MCU though, because if you've watched like What If, we know Peggy Carter as a character.
Yeah.
She's been played by Haley Atwell ever since the first Captain America.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and yeah, she's been in the comics for a long time.
Well, no, but I'm just saying as an MCU character.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Haley Atwell and stuff has been with that character the whole time. She's even voiced her in like the What Ifs and all that.
Yeah. So they got her. They got Black Bolt.
Well, we got to explain who these characters have never shown up. So.
Oh yeah, shit. I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
I know because I'm. Just,
I've been watching Marvel shows.
Well, not even that, just the comics. Black Bolt, has he been in any of the show? Or he was in one episode of Ultimate Spider-Man?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's like part of a group called the Inhumans.
He's the leader of it.
Yeah, he's the leader because he's like the most powerful. And
his ability is that when he speaks, it's like a shock or like a sound wave. It's like he can't.
It just like kills you immediately.
He doesn't speak because it would kill anyone.
Yeah.
He could topple like a city with a sentence.
It's
or
so
whatever.
fucking weird though in this movie that they show an instance of him doing that, but like he concentrates it in one area.
I don't know.
Anyhow, it doesn't really matter.
I guess if you're angling your your mouth down, it would, I guess, just
I
generally
guess,
go
but
down.
literally everybody else could hear it who was there.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's also...
Yeah, when their ears at least be bleeding.
Yeah, exactly.
Like their eardrums fucking burst.
Yeah, like Captain Carter standing back there like, what the fuck? Yeah. There's also Captain Marvel, who is not Carol Danvers. It is Maria Rambeau. They say Captain Marvel in the movie.
I've never watched any of the Captain Marvel shit, so I have no clue.
They say Captain Marvel in the movie, but it's a completely different actress who's a completely different Captain Marvel. And then there was, and you can talk about these, because I know we've bitched about this for forever last night.
Yeah, so...
So let's just teleport him into this review right now. Here he is.
Well, yeah, so that's who they reveal, everyone, right?
Yeah.
And then they obviously reveal Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, who's played by John Krasinski.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird. So they have like this like council room, right, where there's a bunch of chairs, and they're all like sitting in their chairs. But they introduce Reed Richards, and he comes in through a teleporter.
Yeah.
And it's obviously for the sake of it being a reveal.
Yeah, there's no reason he shouldn't already be sitting in his fucking chair.
Well, yeah, it just makes no sense. And it's like, who teleported him in? Where did it, what? Huh?
Yeah, and it looked like the teleportation that Doctor Strange does. And I'm like, that doesn't
Well, no,
make
it looked
sense.
more like what Sue does. And it's like, Sue's not there.
No, yeah.
Yeah. But it's even stranger because they do the exact same thing.
Like 5 minutes later.
Well, yeah, we already said, because the trailers spoil it, Professor X is in this movie as well. Played by Patrick Stewart, and you're like, oh, fucking great. So these are connected. This is connected to the X-Men movies. No, it's not. It's a completely different Professor X.
And he rolls up.
Fucking Christ.
And he rolls up in a hot yellow whip.
Yeah, but they do him as a reveal because he's not even in the room. Well, he's in the room. He's in like a back room.
Yeah, he's like hiding behind the curtains.
Because they're like interrogating Doctor Strange because they don't trust him as an alternate version of himself because their version of Doctor Strange
fucked up the universe.
Fucked up the universe. He got the Darkhold and fucked up the universe.
Mm-hmm.
But
before we go,
which is what when we see Black Bolt use his powers because they killed that version of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, in a flashback.
Power. Yeah.
Yeah. And before we go further,
because it's really it's really funny because Professor X shows Doctor Strange that, and all it is just Professor X going, "Goodbye, my friend," and then just them watching him fucking
get
die.
obliterated.
Yeah.
But yeah, in while this is going on, Wanda has figured out a spell from the Darkhold to, do this thing they call dream walking, which is where she can't actually go to another universe, but what she can do is temporarily possess a body of herself.
Her alternate universe self.
Yeah, in another universe.
Yeah.
And so she is doing that.
Which we should establish, this dream walking is very, very important. They establish in this movie that dreams are all alternate versions of yourself that you're seeing through the eyes of. So that's why they call it dream walking, because she's technically going into her dreams and possessing a dream.
Yeah. And she does this by earlier she had like the actual book, The Darkhold, but it got destroyed, and so she goes to the place where the spells from the Darkhold were originally inscribed, and
which is like a big mountain.
Yeah, it's like
she enslaves Wong and makes him take her.
Makes him take her. Yeah.
To
this kind of temple in the mountains. And
we should preface, if you don't know, Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme, not Doctor Strange, so that's why he is very important. Also, Wong's such a really good character.
He is, yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
You're like, he's important. I'm like, he's funny. But
that's how you gauge Marvel character. That's how a lot of people gauge these fucking, Iron Man, he's good, he's funny. You know what I mean?
Iron Man, not funny. Guess what? Iron Man, not funny. Anyway. But, yeah, so she's like at this temple where it's discovered that it's a shrine to her.
Yeah, because she has inherited the power of the Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
And it is foretold in the prophecy, or whatever the fuck they say, that the Scarlet Witch will either be known to rule or destroy mankind. So that's, I guess, the idea behind why there's like a whole shrine to her and stuff like that.
Yeah. So she's doing that, and while she's doing that, dream walking and getting a hold of an alternate self in the universe where Doctor Strange and America are right now. With
the Illuminati.
With the Illuminati, yeah. Doctor Strange is at court with the Illuminati, Judge Judy. And America is
Imagine if she was part of the Illuminati. That would have been so awesome.
And America is in like a big glass like cage because they're doing research on alternate.
Well, yeah, like they don't trust the fact that they're alternate versions.
Yeah, which they make a good point where they're like, you could be bringing diseases that we have no cure for. And the head researcher is Christine,
which is Rachel McAdams, which I guess we should have prefaced her character is.
Yeah.
She and Doctor Strange were together in the first one. They break up in the beginning of the first one, and he goes to her wedding at the beginning of this one.
Yeah.
And obviously he's like, the whole point of the movie is that he's depressed.
Yeah, because
she asks him at the wedding, "Are you happy?" And he says yes. But we obviously learn, and you can obviously tell
he's lying.
He's just lying.
Yeah.
Because he wants her to feel better. But the whole point of the movie is that he needs to make himself feel better instead of trying for other people.
Yeah, and the fact that like he's not gonna be happy till he just literally gets over her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That as well.
Yeah. So okay, that all established. Wanda comes in and murders everyone.
Yeah, so Wanda does come in and kill all of the Illuminati one by one, and this is where the brutal deaths all happen.
Yeah.
She shows up and she makes Black Bolt's mouth disappear.
Mm-hmm.
So he tries to scream and it makes his head explode.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it. Like, it's fucking awful.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Reed Richards
turns into string cheese.
Well, yeah, she rips him apart. Well, turns him into string, but she rips him apart basically, and also makes his head explode.
Yeah. Well, and it's even worse because before.
Oh yeah. Oh, they preface it. Yeah. She's like, she looks at him and she's like, because he mentions that he has kids. And she's like,
to try to calm her down, to like relate.
Yeah, she's like, do your kids have are your kid's mother still alive? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, well, then I guess they'll have someone to look after them.
Yeah.
And then she just instantly murders him.
So John Krasinski gets turned into string cheese.
Yeah.
And then Captain Carter gets sliced in half with her shield.
With her own shield.
Yep. And then Captain Marvel gets fucking smashed by a huge statue.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Professor X shows up.
Oh my god, he's waltzing in his fucking James McAvoy outfit.
well, no, hold on. So he rolls in the golden Xavier whip.
Yes,
right?
Which is a wheelchair. It's not really a car.
It literally is a car. It has wheels.
Okay, it is a car. It's like a small car.
It's like a small car. Like I bet that thing could get like 30, going up like 30 if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But he rolls up and he puts her in like a mind palace where he tries to like save the alternate universe, like bring the alternate universe self back through.
Yeah.
So that the other one will leave.
Yeah.
But she shows up in the Mind Palace and snaps his fucking neck in the Mind Palace, which in turn snaps his neck in real life. And kills him.
And he, in the mind of her, he is wearing that cute little James McAvoy outfit.
With the black turtleneck
Yeah,
sweater.
the black turtleneck. I love how everybody in the theater was like, oh my god, he's Steve Jobs. And I'm like,
he did look like Steve Jobs, though.
But I was like, no, that's like the outfit that he wears when he's the young professor.
Well, no, obviously it is, but he just looks like Steve Jobs.
He does, yeah. So yeah, that happens, and so she's going to go get America, who's still in the little like glass cage or whatever, and Rachel McAdams helps her escape out of it, and they meet up with Doctor Strange because obviously he's gotten out of this mess. He's fought in Mordo, who is good in this universe. He's fought in Mordo to escape from.
Well, he's good, but he's part of the Illuminati as well.
Yeah,
we didn't mention him. He's the Sorcerer Supreme in this universe as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's escaped, and they are fucking running in this goddamn horror hallway away from Wanda as she limps towards them.
It's the best sequence in the movie because she's like fucked up looking. She's covered in blood. She's like chasing after them. She's got bare feet. She's running through glass.
Over glass.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. And she's like limping as fast as she can towards them.
It's a full horror scene. This movie is a horror for the most part. I mean, it's a horror comedy, but it's a lot of horror shit.
Yeah.
But
they get to
they're looking for the Book of Vishanti, which is a book that is kind of like the dark. It's like the good version of the Dark Hold.
Yeah, they basically say that.
It holds all of the spells that Doctor Strange can do basically anything with. But it gets destroyed by Wanda.
Yeah.
So basically, Wanda ends up getting America and taking her back to her universe. And sends Doctor Strange and alternate universe version of Christine to another universe.
Yeah, like a fucked up dying universe.
Well, it's a basically dead universe, it seems, because it seems like Doctor Strange is the only one left.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically they find an evil Doctor Strange
who has a Darkhold.
Yeah, he's corrupted by the Darkhold.
Yeah.
Should we talk about? We were talking about it's an interesting thing. I mean, just how much the aftermath of the Thanos stuff is still talked about in these movies. And you were saying it's done really well in this movie with that. In the beginning of the movie, there's a character that's another doctor that I believe is in the first movie. And he comes up to Doctor Strange during the wedding of Christine, and he talks to him about the whole snap and how he disappeared for 5 years and he lost his brother and his cats, and it's a big joke because he says he lost his cats before he lost his brother.
Yeah. Ha ha ha! I didn't laugh.
But he questions, was it really the only way? And they make you as an audience, and even Doctor Strange himself, it seems, questions like, was there any other way that this could have gone? And basically the whole point of this movie, for part of it at least, it seems to be that it's showing that it was the only way for it to work. Was for him to do what he did, because like we were saying, in the Illuminati universe, the only reason he redeems himself is because he helps in the fight for Thanos or whatever. But he like ends up, destroying like a whole nother universe and shit.
Yeah, by his method of trying to defeat Thanos.
Yeah.
Also, I love how all the Minecraft monsters are hiding under Doctor Strange's cape so they don't die.
Hey, it's working out.
Anyway, yeah. I thought it was really interesting, though, because I think, he gets vindicated. Like, he made the right choice. He is a good version of Doctor Strange, because all the other versions of Doctor Strange are terrible.
Yeah, well, I mean, and we see by this other alternate universe version that we meet, he reveals that he has nothing left to do, so he dreamwalks and kills other versions of himself.
Just for fun.
He was like, what does he say? He's like, have you ever had a dream where you're falling down a really, really high height? That was probably me.
Yeah.
But they fight. Do you want to talk about the fight?
My God.
Well, I didn't think it was terrible. I think the music do we want to talk about the music? And that we should talk about this in the non-spoiler bit.
Let me get into this. So, the score is done by Danny Elfman, which, when I saw that in the credits, my mind was fucking blown. I was sitting there mouth wide open because this soundtrack sucked.
They really
This score was terrible, which is so sad because I really...
Well, I just want to say, it's noticeable because it's like Marvel films usually just have like a bland soundtrack.
Boring score.
But I was like, holy shit.
This is bad.
The music sucks in this movie for the most part. There's like a few good bits here and there. There's like some music where it's just like serviceable for the moment and you're like, yeah, whatever. Like when the Illuminati's fighting, there's not anything noticeable like bad there, but it's like just things like that. So
I really like Danny Elfman and I expect a lot out of him, so I was really shocked that this soundtrack was so terrible. And there's, like, a scene that highlights the soundtrack.
Yeah, so they begin fighting the two versions of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and...
which are both Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, and they're using, like, musical notes to battle each other, and the concept is interesting because...
Well, it's very comic booky.
Yeah, because it's, like, the soundtrack that is playing is being produced by them in the battle with the way they're throwing the musical notes at each other and stuff. But it's really distracting, and I thought it was like one of the worst scenes in the movie because it calls to your attention the music even more, which is terrible. And I was just sitting there like, oh my God, I have been sucked out of this so hard because I'm being forced to focus on horrible Marvel movie music.
Yeah, I completely understand that.
And it goes on for a little too long as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously he defeats this other Doctor Strange and gets the Darkhold, and then he makes a plan with Christine where he's going to dreamwalk back into his original universe to go rescue America.
Yeah, we didn't explain this.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
At the beginning of the movie, there's a alternate version of Doctor Strange that had already met America, who betrays her, but he gets killed. So America, gets sucked into the regular universe, and that's how our Doctor Strange meets her. But she accidentally brings the dead body of the other Doctor Strange with her. Mm-hmm. So when Doctor Strange dreamwalks back in his universe, he does it through the dead body of his other self. Which is fucking awesome.
It is really awesome.
Because,
it's fucked up.
I don't think the bit's that bad, but Akasha hates it. There's a bit where he has to fight, like, demons, because it's against rules for you to possess the body of a dead person for, like, obvious reasons. Because it's just fucked up.
Yeah.
But, he has to, like, fight these demons, and it's, like, kind of comical.
These, like, ugly-ass demons that look like that old bitch in the wheelchair who wants chocolate in that SpongeBob episode.
They do look
that
like that.
SpongeBob episode.
Yeah.
They look really bad.
But it becomes awesome because Doctor Strange then becomes becomes a Dark Souls boss.
Yeah.
Because he tames these spirits and they become spirit bat wings that he uses to fucking fly and fight Wanda with.
Yeah, we've been making so many Dark Souls jokes when we go to the theater, because I remember when they introduced the concept of dreamwalking, I leaned over to you and I was like, oh, so like you're invading someone else's world in Dark Souls.
Well, because the way they explain it, it's like, it's exactly the same like way.
Yeah. But anyhow, Dark Souls jokes aside.
Yeah, we have a big battle between Doctor Strange and Wanda, which is, I think it's really cool. I like the whole zombie Strange thing.
Yeah, and Doctor Strange has to come to terms with the problem that people have been saying he's had this whole movie, which is that he always feels like he needs to do things his way or it isn't going to work out.
But he does things America's way.
Yeah, so he instead of taking America's powers, he gives her like a pep talk and is like, I know you can do this because you've been leading us to where we need to go subconsciously this entire time. So I'm letting you do this your way. So she does. She punches Wanda a couple times and then discovers that she cannot defeat her through like raw physical power. So she does, this is really fucked up. She does a really fucked up thing where she opens...
I mean, but it makes sense though.
It does, because this feels like the only way it would stop her, and they kind of imply this multiple times. But she opens up a portal to the universe they were in most of the movie.
With the Illuminati.
And it's an alternate version of Wanda with her kids.
Because there was a scene where when she body hopped into that version, she, like, met the kids for a bit and cried and whatever.
Yeah. And, so, like...
Oh, did we mention... I guess we should have mentioned that if sucking America's powers out of her body, you might be thinking, oh, why is that a big deal? It would kill her.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we should have prefaced that. But.
Yeah. So what happens is, like, she shows the kids, the two boys of Wanda's, like her all like fucked up and like literally strangling a child who is America.
Yeah.
And the boys are terrified and go running from her.
Also, I gotta, like, they're
pretty bad.
Yeah, the kids are pretty bad actors.
Yeah, it's okay though.
Yeah, it's fine because they're barely in the movie, but holy shit. I mean, at some point we obviously are going to watch WandaVision. If they're in the majority of that show, I don't know how I'm going to fucking feel about that.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty bad.
Yeah. So, yeah, she basically, like, assaults the other Wanda, and the kids, like, start throwing shit at her and telling her to go away. And she is so shaken by this because she realizes, as many people have told her throughout this movie, that, like, the consequences of killing all these people just to get to her kids is not worth it. They would never want this. And they would never
want
her. Yeah. They want their mom, like, who is with them already.
Well, and it's interesting though, because the alternate version of herself, which does have the kids, she watches her, like, break down, and she approaches her, and she tells her that she will love them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, understanding from a mother's perspective that she knows. It's just a weird understanding. And obviously, probably because of the body hopping, she, like, maybe knows, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, so after this, Wanda kind of comes back to herself because all of this happened because she got corrupted by the Darkhold. And so she shakes out of it in that moment, and she allows America to leave with Wong, and then she destroys the temple that has all the inscriptions of the Darkhold, and this not only destroys that, but it destroys every Darkhold in every multiverse.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's basically the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Almost. I mean, America starts to get trained in the,
Camartage.
yeah, so she, her and Doctor Strange are friends now.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie ends with him, we didn't mention it, but there's like a metaphor where he has a watch that he was given by Christine in the first movie that gets broken in his car accident that makes him become Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the movie, he replaces the faceplate of it, symbolizing that he's now able to move on and be a happier person, which is cute. But yeah, I guess, do you want to talk about the very ending of the movie? So we didn't mention it because it's not really important, but it is just to talk about how stupid this is. When Doctor Strange is fighting the evil version of himself in the other universe, the other version has a third eye.
Mm-hmm.
And we end the movie with Doctor Strange walking down the street, and then he bends down in pain, and we find out that he has a third eye.
Yeah.
And the movie ends.
And it's fucking stupid.
Well, no, it wouldn't be stupid if it was left off like that. It'd be fine, right? But you wait for the post-credit scene, the first post-credit scene, and it's Doctor Strange, assumedly weeks later. He's fine. And what is her name?
Clea.
So a character from the Marvel Universe named Clea, played by
Charlize Theron.
Yeah, Charlize Theron in this movie. She's a character also never been in the MCU yet. She basically takes Doctor Strange and says, "Oh, you caused an incursion event," which is a universal event that is detrimental to how stable the universe is. His event was taking America in, which doesn't make much sense because they explain that she's the only version of herself in any universe.
Yeah, they never directly say that, but yeah.
Well, that's assumed, right?
Yeah,
because she's staying there, but like, it's like, where the fuck would she stay then?
I don't know. But yeah, so this ending thing.
Well, they reveal it that his third eye is just like an ability he has now.
Well, okay.
And that's what's stupid about it.
I didn't fucking understand what this meant, but guess what? I only understand what it means because I'm looking at the fucking Wikipedia page now. Sometime later, Strange develops a third eye as a result of using the Darkhold. That was not clear to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was not fucking clear to me one bit.
No, I didn't think that was because of the Darkhold, but
yeah, me
so
neither.
is it a bad thing? Because the way they portray it in the post-credit scene when he uses it's a fine thing.
Yeah. Also, it looks terrible. It looks fucking awful.
Yeah, it doesn't look the best. But...
yeah, but it's stupid because I just am like, this is a post-credit scene that literally takes place seconds after the ending of the movie. Why not just make that the ending of the movie?
Well, it's not seconds because he's wearing a different outfit, so it's assumedly at least a few days.
I guess so, but it's like...
it's still weird.
Yeah. And B, I think they're trying to play it up as like a laugh at the end. At first I thought it was some new great threat happening when Doctor Strange bent over in pain, but it's this fucking stupid ass third eye that I didn't understand why it was there.
Maybe the fact that it is a thing of the Darkhold, maybe it is a bad thing. Maybe it's going to be like giving him evil intentions or something. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah. But yeah, and then there's a funny Bruce Campbell.
Well, yeah, so I guess the second post-credit scene, which I guess was pissing people off, which fuck you if it pissed you off.
It's funny.
It is funny. So earlier in the movie, we meet Papa Pizza, which is Bruce Campbell, which America Chavez steals one of his pizza balls, or like he sells pizza balls and she steals some because she thinks it's free. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, I'm Papa Pizza, you gotta pay for that. And Doctor Strange makes him beat the shit out of himself, which is a callback to Evil Dead, because in Evil Dead 2 he beats the shit out of himself with his hand. Mm-hmm. But the whole resolution to the second post-credit scene is that he stopped punching himself.
Yeah.
And he looks he looks at the camera and he says, finally it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was really funny.
It is really funny. It's probably the best joke in the movie.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so thoughts? Questions?
I gotta say, I hate that every single Universal version of these characters are played by the same actor. I really don't like that, because I think it would be really fun if you had like imagine if you had like a, I don't know, like I can't think of anyone who could like also be Doctor Strange, but like if you just had like another actor, I don't know. It's just weird when it's like, oh,
my go-to for literally playing everyone, Cillian Murphy.
Well, it's just like there's 3 different versions of Benedict, or 4 different versions of Benedict Cumberbatch in this film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, and it's fine for the one that becomes the zombie to look like him, because obviously it has to look like him for him to be in zombie makeup. But like, really, the one that is evil couldn't look different? He's in one scene in the entire movie and he fucking dies in the scene.
I'm fine with it because it's like,
well, but we were saying though, it's like in the Spider-Man movie, there's obviously the 3 Spider-Men and they all look different.
I know, but I said in the car, I think they're doing the thing that literally the comics do, where most of them look similar, but there are some that just look completely different.
No, I know, but it's just like, this is Doctor Strange's moment in the multiverse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, maybe I guess the next one will also deal with the multiverse, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, how long am I going to have to wait to see Doctor Strange 3? Like, we had to wait 6 or 7 years in between this one. Mm-hmm. And that was... Doctor Strange 1 happened in, like, phase 2. Mm-hmm. And this is phase 4. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of time and movies and lore that has already been given out and doled out in between these movies. You know what I mean?
Well, you have mentioned the zombie Doctor Strange. I would like to make a point of that before I forget, which is my thing about the humor, where I think there's some parts in this movie that are just like so fucking bad. I think most of the movie is really good, but there are just a couple scenes that are so fucking bad. The very ending part I just talked about. B, the stupid, like, soul-sucking demons that are kind of supposed to be funny, I guess, and they look stupid, and just general Marvel humor sorts of things. But the funniest thing, I thought, and the part with the most personality, is the part with the zombie Doctor Strange where he's talking to America, and it's really fucking funny. It's like uplifting but also really funny because it's like this horrible corpse, like,
well, yeah, he's got like half of his fucking face.
Yeah.
He's really disgusting. A lot of people have been discussing, like, this movie pushes PG-13 to its fucking, like, length.
And he's, like, talking to her and, like, saying, like, the jackass things he always does. And at the end of the speech, he, like, gives her a wink, which sounds all squishy because he's, like, decomposed. It's really funny. I really like that part. And that part really feels like Sam Raimi humor. A lot of these other parts, I'm just like, oh my god, this is Marvel humor.
Yeah, it kind of felt, because it's like, obviously the Bruce Campbell bit is his, you know what I mean? There were definitely some jokes you could be like, oh, this is Sam, this is Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think, it's just like any other Marvel movie. I don't think there's really any jokes that ruin it, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're all, even if they're bad, they're just fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it ruins any of the movie.
My other problem, yes, I understand that all Marvel movies are like a big fucking CGI fest, but there was like a lot of CGI in this movie that I was like, this looks awful.
Well, you've got to specify that you're talking specifically about the monsters in the film.
The monsters look really bad. The only thing besides the monsters that looks terrible is that third eye. That just, oh my god, it looks awful.
There's a few green screen bits when they're fighting the monster in the beginning of the movie that looked pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
But other than that, everything like with like zombie Doctor Strange,
Doctor Strange looks
when
great.
He's flying and shit,
Yeah.
that looks great.
The tentacle monster in the trailer, which I already knew because I saw it in the trailer, it looks awful. It looks fucking terrible.
The Illuminati fight looked great.
The Illuminati fight looked really good. Yeah, none of the fighting I had a problem with. It was literally just like those ghost spirits, the tentacle monster. Those things just looked awful.
Oh, well, I was like dreading this movie the second it started, because they show, obviously, they alternate universe Doctor Strange that becomes a zombie that like dies or whatever, and America, and they're being chased by like this CGI monster, and I was I was like, is this the main villain of our movie?
Yeah, that looked awful.
Well, it's not even that. I was just like, I don't want another CGI monster for a Marvel villain. You know what I mean? I don't want it.
Yeah. No, like, that was really the highlight, is Wanda as the villain. She is fucking brutal.
Yeah, and Elizabeth Olsen did a really good job.
She does a really good job.
She does a really good job. There's a few moments where she's like hamming it up, but I feel like that's just the character is like really dramatic, and stuff like that. But from like you were saying at the beginning from the trailers, it's very obvious now that she was the villain of the movie. But I'm surprised by the fact that they just made her full on evil.
Yeah,
she just murders indiscriminately. She wants to murder. The whole plot is she wants to murder a child to have 2 other children.
Yeah,
you know
and there's literally like the part at the end where she's talking to her kids. She's like, "I would never hurt anyone," and then you just see the look on her face, like, "Oh my god, I turned Reed Richards into string cheese."
I made a man make his own head explode.
Yeah. She's like, hold on. But yeah, just to finish up about the CGI, and speaking of Wanda, no, I think the things like, there's a lot of levitation in this movie because obviously there's like a lot of magic bullshit. All the magic bullshit looks good. All the levitation looks pretty good, which is great because after I watched the fucking flying and levitation in the Eternals, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that did look so. I was comparing it last night, but I always forget how bad it looks until I like actually really think about it.
Yeah, but like there's only a couple far away shots where she's floating, where it just looks kind of like a doll floating around.
I mean, she's floating for like most of this movie, and she looks good.
But especially like in close-up shots, which is weird because usually it looks worse in close-up shots. Yeah. But like the levitation and the flying looks really natural. It looks good. But yeah, and I like that Doctor Strange actually has like a plot he needs to fulfill, like internally.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of turning wheels. There's like his depression, the whole thing with if he did right in Endgame, not just the depression, but also lost love. You know what I mean, and what to do with that.
Yeah, and he doesn't like say a lot of these things. Well, people are literally just like talking to him about how terrible he is, and he really doesn't have a lot of comments on this, but you can see the looks on his face like, do I want to try and pull a different Christine from this universe?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things. Well, because there's an interesting thing is a huge problem I have with like plot things is when characters are even in real life are punished because of the sins of the father.
Mm-hmm.
I always think that's dumb
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't make much sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But in this movie, Doctor Strange is constantly like not blamed, but he's kind of accused because other versions of himself do these awful things, and I was like, is that fair? And then they start showing you that it's like almost every version, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's fair.
And it's like, even if it is an alternate version of you, the character at the heart of yourself is the same.
Well, that's another problem, is how similar.
Oh,
It's because, like, for some reason, when evil Doctor Strange and regular Doctor Strange are talking in the one bit of the movie, they have the exact same backstory. Yeah. The exact same backstory. And it's like, does every Doctor Strange... Which
it's really weird because America literally says something at the beginning of the movie, like, never expect anything you're expecting out of the multiverse.
It's even like the Spider-Man. Their stories aren't the exact same, at all. You know what I mean? Like
freaking Tom Holland doesn't know goddamn Gwen Stacy.
Well, yeah, it's just like with Doctor Strange, he literally like says exactly what his past was, and evil Doctor Strange goes, "Yup,
me too, brother.
That was me too."
And it's like, okay.
Yeah, that's another really weird plot hole. I would say that's a plot hole because it's like, do all of them have why did these two specific ones? You know what I mean? It's just random chance.
I think I'm winding down though. I don't know if I have a lot more thoughts.
I guess let's just give it a rating. What would you give it?
I don't know. I haven't rated it on Letterboxd yet. Probably a 7 or 8.
Yeah, for me, I would give it an 8 or a 9. I'm leaning more towards a 9, but there are just a few bits. It's just really good. I don't ever think of watching Marvel movies for fun because they're so usually kind of connected. Mm-hmm. But this one is kind of, I mean, except for WandaVision, but they explain it well enough. Mm-hmm. It kind of feels like its own thing, very much so, where you don't even really have to see the previous Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, it's nice to have the context and shit.
Yeah, that poor woman at the theater is like, who is this man?
Yeah. Especially when you've had, he's been in 4 or 5 movies at this point, you know what I mean?
She's like, who is America Chavez? And her boyfriend's like, I don't know.
Yeah. But I think that's going to be it. Thank you all so much for being here for this Doctor Strange review. We'll have a Spider-Man comic review coming up soon, and yeah. That'll do it. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Bye.